If anything at all, Senator Gaines, persistence may be a reward.
I'm hoping third time's the charm, huh? But I want to thank you, Chair Liu, and the committee for your help on Senate Bill 605. And we do want to accept the committee amendments to the bill.
Great.
And thank the committee staff for working so closely with my staff to get this bill where I think it needs to be. I've introduced similar legislation in the past that was broader, but based on the past feedback from the committee, we've narrowed the bill in ways that make it a tightly focused program. This bill recognizes the integrated economy of the Lake Tahoe Basin by offering in-state tuition rates at Lake Tahoe Community College to a limited number of students who reside in Nevada. This will only happen if the chancellor of the California Community Colleges deems that there is a reciprocal agreement in place with Nevada. This will not be one-sided. The eligible Nevada students would come from 6 small communities. No more than 200 Nevada students would be eligible in any one academic year. This bill will also sunset in 2021, so we can take a look at it and see how it's working. There's a history of cooperation between California and Nevada to ensure success on critical issues, such as Lake Tahoe clarity, that are important to both states. SB 605 is another opportunity for the states to work together for our mutual benefit. And so we're hoping that we can help out families that share the Tahoe Basin, and we'd love to have your support. I have some speakers in support that I'd like to make a few comments.
Thank you very much. In support of the bill, please.
Yes, my name is Kendra Murillo, and I'm the superintendent president at Lake Tahoe Community College and have been there for 4 years. I sat in front of you 2 years ago, and you very clearly told me that you wanted us to bring back a narrow pilot with the reciprocity agreement with a sunset date, and we have worked very hard for 2 years to do something to that effect. We believe in this, and the reason we believe in it is because Tahoe is an integrated economy. And we work very hard together. This bill does what you asked, and again, I want to say I appreciate very much the help we've received from the Senate Education Committee staff. I think that you've tried to make this successful. I hope that what we're fighting so hard for is to keep Tahoe from becoming a 2-class area. And that is our huge concern because we have a lot of second homeowners, and we have an underclass there that works in the restaurants, sometimes the hotels. We just did a great class for some people that work in our hotels. And we also serve the community. And these are the people that are place-bound that cannot get off that hill to get education. So we appreciate your concern and your efforts to help us make this a really great community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Others in support?
Madam Chair, members, my name is Kerry David, and I serve currently as the president of the Board of Trustees of Lake Tahoe Community College. I've been a trustee for 22 years, and I've been a member of our College Foundation for 20 years. I'm a member of our local community, South Lake Tahoe, for 41 years. Our college serves our community as a beacon of hope for many first-generation students as well as lifelong learners. Our students come from all walks of life, and support from our students through our foundation has been significant from donors from Nevada. The generosity of one Nevada supporter of the college has provided a $5.8 million contribution for the construction of a university center. That will be completed in the fall of 2018. Another donation of $250,000 from a Nevada donor allowed us to build an art gallery on our campus. Our 3 largest gifts have been from our neighbors in Nevada. We are indeed a community college with an invisible state line, loved and supported by our California and Nevada residents. Unfortunately, many of our Nevada neighbors who live within 3 miles of our college have been excluded due to a tuition that is 4 times the cost to residents. As one extended community, we formerly were able to provide a good neighbor policy to Nevada residents. We served over 221 Nevada students in 2011, the last year the policy was in effect. Some 22 students from California attended Western Nevada Community College, and additional students attended the University of Nevada, Reno in that final year of eligibility, taking advantage of that Good Neighbor policy. Through Senator Gaines and Senator Settlemyre of Nevada, we have the opportunity, with your assistance, to serve students who may not otherwise have the ability to pursue a higher education. Let our jewel of Lake Tahoe once again be a resource to the entire Lake Tahoe Basin. Our local students have grown up playing Little League Baseball and AYSO soccer on the same teams with their contemporaries from Nevada. Our local high school competes in the Nevada High School Championships. We are one community. I started my family at the age of 18 and was fortunate enough to attend De Anza College and graduate in 1970. That stepping stone allowed me to attend Santa Clara to complete my education. Please help us provide such educational opportunities for our community. We encourage your support of SB 605. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, members, my name is Michelle Sweeney. I'm a trustee of Lake Tahoe Community College in support of SB 605, and I respectfully request your aye vote. My two children attend California's Bijou Elementary School, 2.2 miles and 6 minutes from the state line. Our club soccer is played on Nevada fields with our Nevadan teammates. Our cycling club of California and Nevada teens traverses the border on every practice ride. With our ski teams, we gaze down from our chairlifts over the state line, pointing, over there, that's where I live, the edge of that watershed. Subtext, California. Next to our buddies who say, my house is over there, next to the edge of that forest. Subtext, Nevada. A state line cuts through my community. Lake Tahoe Community College is the American dream for students who aspire to excel in a chosen educational path under the personalized instruction of high-caliber professors while having amazing air to breathe, lakes to swim in, and forest paths to run. Senate Bill 605, before you, is a critical stitch in the fabric that will determine whether, in 30 years, there will be a middle-class residential population in the Tahoe Basin. Will people live, work, and raise children in Tahoe in 2045, or will the Tahoe community succumb to the forces that would make our home a place where only the poor reside in limited numbers to serve a wealthy, non-residential population, occasionally in Tahoe on vacation? The course of Lake Tahoe Community College is bound with the fate of this community. To the degree the college provides affordable access to educational opportunity and upward mobility, we resist the forces that would undermine a middle-class future. My children's intuition questions the adults' state line. They ask, if Gabriel's mom wants to learn English, why doesn't she come to our college? She lives 10 minutes away. They ask, Quetzal's grandma teaches at the college. Why does she have to pay 4 times more to take math classes there than the other 20-year-olds who live in California? I would like my children and their friends to grow up with the idea that, should they choose, they will be able to live a good and prosperous life in the community they are growing up in. Your vote in support of SB 605 will be a vote to maintain the integrity of the fabric that is holding together our middle class bi-state community.
Thank you very much. Please.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the committee. I'm Roberta Mason. I'm a newly retired trustee from Lake Tahoe Community College after 40 years on that board. So I was before this committee 2 years ago asking for you to reinstate our good neighbor policy with Nevada. And the committee wanted to hear of reciprocity with our neighboring state. And we believe that now we have made that happen. I have helped, Dr. Murillo has worked so hard to bring this about. I've helped walk the halls of the Nevada legislature, and they too want reciprocity. And so I think this bill does that, and I ask for your support.
Thank you very much. Any others in support of the bill?
Brian McElhaney with the Community College League of California. We're proud co-sponsors of this bill for the reasons you just heard, and we'd also like to thank the committee staff for working with us to make this a good bill. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Samantha Corbin with Corbin and Kaiser, representing the Lake Tahoe Community College District, just here to support with technical questions if there are any. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Any others in support? Is there any opposition to the bill? We didn't receive any. Any questions from members? The bill has been moved. Any closing comments, Senator?
I would just urge an aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe we'll be lucky this time. Okay, please call the roll. The bill has been moved.
Do pass as amended to appropriations. Lou?
Aye.
Lou, aye. Runner?
Aye.
Runner, aye. Block? Hancock?
Aye.
Hancock, aye. Leyva? Mendoza? Monning? Monning, aye. Pan? Vidak?
Aye.
Vidak, aye. That's 5.
5 votes, sufficient for passage. We'll keep the roll open for absent members. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Okay. All right, we have, just for your members' information, item 15, SB 669 PAN has been pulled. And so we are awaiting item 7, SB 329 Mendoza, and I understand that he is presenting 2 bills in his committee and will come as soon as that is over. So we're left with one more bill, my bill, SB 499, item 12, which I will do. And Senator Runner will conduct the orchestra. Just to make things clear here, we're going to allow 2 witnesses to support, 2 witnesses against, and everybody else is going to be me too. Correct? Is it tweener? Well, we're going to try to do this. Okay. Well, it's still morning. Good morning. Members, today I'm presenting SB 499 about teacher evaluation and effectiveness. Not an easy subject. And I'm pleased to accept the amendments referenced in the committee's analysis, a long list. Research consistently identifies the quality of a teacher as a single most important factor in improving student achievement. In California, we lacked a consistent or comprehensive system to measure the quality of teaching in our public schools. The media has framed this conversation as a discussion between good teachers versus bad teachers, and how do school districts get rid of really bad ones? I don't agree with that fundamental premise of this characterization. We must pivot and change the conversation to be about supporting all teachers and administrators in their ability to be effective, regardless if they are new or a veteran. This requires an evaluation system that includes professional support, training, and a fair and reliable mechanism to measure quality and effectiveness. On one extreme, you can have those that favor a teacher evaluation system that relies almost entirely on student test scores. On the other hand, there are those who defend the status quo, the Stall Act, who don't believe any changes are really necessary. You know, I've been out of the classroom for over 30 years, and I was evaluated on the Stall Act. Please, there must be changes that have happened in these middle years. I believe there needs to be kind of a middle ground which acknowledges the values teachers experience, but do not ignore data-driven instruction and improving teacher and student performance. This bill is an important first step in forging a compromise. SB 499 details a foundation for a comprehensive evaluation system that seeks to establish a culture of continuous improvement for all educators and improve student outcomes. The new teacher evaluation system would have the following key components. A new system is based on the California standards for the teaching profession. It requires formative and summative data to be used to inform teaching practice. It requires people academic growth based on multiple measures to be part of a teacher evaluation. It requires multiple observation to be conducted by trained evaluators to ensure the system is implemented in a fair and reliable manner. And upon any finding of unsatisfactory performance, it will require professional development to ensure that teachers receive the system of support that is needed to improve their performance. Consistent with current practice under the STAHL Act, school districts must collectively bargain their teacher evaluation process with their union. The difference here is that the specific components identified in this bill must be part of the teacher evaluation system and cannot be bargained away. In our effort to improve student outcomes, this bill also establishes an administrator evaluation system that is based on a previous bill I authored and was signed into law, SB 1292, which established permissive principal evaluations. Building off of SB 1292, this bill requires all school districts to implement administrative evaluations based on California professional standards for educational leaders. Also analogous to the teacher evaluation, it requires pupil academic growth based on multiple measures to be part of the administrator's evaluation. Again, SB 499 is not designed to punish teachers. Instead, it establishes a system to evaluate teachers in a fair and transparent manner with the goal of providing continuous improvement while focusing on improving student achievements. And I respectfully ask for your aye vote. And also, I just want to publicly thank my staff and the pro tem staff, who is a co-author or a joint author, I can't remember which one, but a joint author, for their work in this bill, because we have what we think termed invited all of the stakeholders to the table to discuss the contents of this bill. And we have asked them if there are issues to please put it in writing and help us bring this bill together. And I hopefully, as this bill moves forward, they will come and do that with us. With that, I have a couple of folks in favor of this bill.
Great. Those in support of the bill?
Good morning, Madam Chair and members. I'm Liz Guillen with Public Advocates. We're a civil rights law firm, and we've worked in education equity issues for many years, since the early 70s. We partner very closely with community-based organizations that represent students and parents. And unfortunately, many of our partners are not able to be engaged at the moment on this bill because they are working very hard and have much less capacity than some of us do in the work they do to, as of right now, they're working in their local school districts to make the LCAP real. And they are also involved at the State Board of Ed on evaluation rubrics. But I hope as time goes on, we will be able to have more stakeholder conversations with them, because I know they have a lot of thoughts. We're happy to support the bill specifically because it focuses on two areas. The teacher's effect on student academic growth by requiring certain elements, including assessments, but also other measures such as student performance on portfolios, grades, and the observation of teachers' practice. And we think that including the practice focus on the 6 domains of the California Standards for the Teaching Profession are critical. Now, school districts and teachers have the flexibility not to address many important elements, including the teacher's effect on students' growth and all of the California teaching standards. We believe that the impact of teacher evaluations has a great impact on students and their families. So the provisions requiring school district boards to get public comment during the process, we very much support and have advocated for, and we appreciate very much its inclusion. We look forward to talking about whether or not it is adequate for what parents and communities want, and we hope that it will not be amended out today, but that we can have more conversation about that. Finally, I would say that Public Advocates was invited to these stakeholder meetings along with other school system advocates, and we saw amendments that took many of their concerns into consideration, so it's difficult for me, in part because I haven't had the opportunity to ask them directly why the opposition is still there. But we believe that current law allows negotiation between districts and their teachers' bargaining units around both procedure and criteria, and that it does happen. And ultimately, we think it's not good to impose an evaluation system unilaterally on a workforce that is not agreed that it will, because it won't work for the workforce, and in this case, teachers, and it won't be good for students. We urge you to support the bill, let it move forward, and allow for the conversation to make it better. Thank you.
Monique Ramos on behalf of State Superintendent of Public Instruction Tom Torlakson. The superintendent is in support of this bill and would like to note that in his first term, he convened the Educator Excellence Task Force, which created a report called Greatness by Design. That task force included several school administrators and teacher leaders throughout the state, and many of the elements of this bill were recommendations were greatness by design. So he believes that it's an important step. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Ron Rapp, California Federation of Teachers. I'm here to say that we haven't taken a formal position on this bill yet. We are still analyzing it. It was amended April 9th, and so it takes us a little while to work through it and work the bill through our process. However, I do want to thank the author for authoring this bill. We think it is due time for us to address teacher evaluation. And I want to thank her staff and the staff in the Speaker's office and the Pro Tem's office for working with us. We have been in conversations over the past couple of weeks around this bill. Everyone has been very open and very frank, and we greatly appreciate that. We know that teacher quality is the #1 indicator for future student success, and we believe in the highest quality educators being in the classroom with our students. We have developed a set of guidelines or positions related to teacher evaluation. I just want to share them with you very quickly, and I will say that we think that this bill addresses most of these, and we're happy to see that. And it's great to see a bill that really values teachers and connects teacher evaluations to professional growth throughout their career. We think that is critical. So thank you, Madam Chair, for that. First of all, we believe the primary goal of any teacher evaluation system is to provide a process for teachers to improve their practice throughout their career. It should not be used as an instrument to quote unquote, get rid of bad teachers, but it really is about professional growth throughout the career of the teacher, and we support that. We also believe that teacher evaluation should be based upon the California standards for the teaching profession. This bill addresses that. We also advocate for the department developing a best practices or model teacher evaluation system that locals can adopt or use to develop their own system aligned with the state model. We very, very strongly support that these teacher evaluation systems are bargained locally. And this bill includes language around that. It maintains that, so that's good. We believe that the evaluators must be well-trained and knowledgeable about what constitutes high-quality teaching and learning. We hear horror stories about evaluators going into a classroom. They know nothing about the subject. They've never been trained. They've never been trained on the instrument, and yet they evaluate our certificated teachers. We believe that teacher evaluations should be directly connected to professional development opportunities. Oftentimes what happens is a teacher's evaluated, but there's no avenue. There may be recommendations, you need to improve here, 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 and here, but there's no avenue to connect them to those professional development opportunities. And we're hopeful that this bill will be very clear about that. All teacher evaluation systems must take into consideration the quality of instruction in light of the context within which the teacher is teaching. For instance, class size, educational resources, demographics, languages, disabilities, et cetera. All of those impact the quality of teaching and learning. We also believe, and the AFT has been a leader in this area nationally, we believe that districts should be encouraged to adopt a peer assistance and review program that pairs exemplary veteran teachers with teachers who are new to the profession and those who are struggling and need assistance. We do support the use of multiple measures of student learning in teacher evaluation, but we believe that those measures must be valid and accurate. Those measures could include portfolios of student work, pre- and post-tests based upon curricular content, work products such as reports, papers, or scholarly research projects, and assessments for documenting learning progress. And so we do have an executive council meeting this weekend. We will be taking a recommended position to that council. We are committed to continuing to work with the author and crafting, shaping this bill as we move forward. And once again, I want to thank the author for bringing this bill forward.
Hi, thank you. My name is Norma Sanchez, and I'm here talking on behalf of California Teachers Association. And I also want to thank the author of this bill and the staff who's provided a lot of input in this bill. We see some very valuable pieces of it, and it's a very comprehensive evaluation bill, which we really appreciate, like the words were stated before. Currently, CTA does not have a position on this bill, and it is because while we see many elements that we do like, there are some concerns that we have in the bill. One of them is the use of student assessment data in teacher evaluations, and we actually have some recommendations for some amendments for how to do that. We would like there to be some guiding principles that clearly articulate the adequate use and proper use of student data in teachers' evaluation. The other piece that we also want to stress was stated earlier about calibration. We feel that there should be some language about how evaluators are calibrated, and then also the training of evaluators. And we've also provided some amendment language on that, just as well as the pupil assessment piece. We've recommended some language on that as well. The third piece is that we really like the addition of the administrator evaluation piece. So it's a comprehensive both teacher evaluation system and administrator evaluation system. But we also would like it to have the same level of scrutiny and transparency as the teacher evaluation system. Thank you. Oh, and we have a letter that we've written, so.
Thank you. Are more people in support that would like to testify? Okay, let's go to those in opposition.
Excuse me.
We have one.
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Diana MacDonald from the California State PTA, and for the most part, we are in support of the bill. As we stated in our letter, we have offered some amendments to Senator Liu's office, and we look forward to working with her on those. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, opposition, if there's any, they can, I think 4 people can sit at the table and have their few minutes. See what happens. Okay, whoever's ready.
Madam Chair and members, Brian Rivas on behalf of the Education Trust West. We're in opposition, and can I just say, Senator Lowe, I'm sorry to be here in opposition to you. You're a friend, been a partner, and but I have to be candid and say that my organization feels rather strongly about this. I hope we can work it out. We're opposed to this because we're an organization that works through research, advocacy, and policy analysis to close the achievement gap. We think this bill would be a major setback to that work because it would have a negative effect on standards of performance for teachers, and that relates directly to high expectations. So let me walk you through and I'll elaborate on that. Existing law is pretty clear. Evaluation procedures are subject to bargaining. This bill makes everything subject to bargaining. The entire evaluation system, subject to the limits that some of the supporters noted, but let me tell you why that's not enough. In each area, I'm talking about standards for student achievement, things like the amount of weight given to pupil growth in an evaluation. In each area, the district is likely to want to propose a standard. The union in return is going to be positioned very strongly to demand something, either a larger pay increase, a costly benefit like retiree health care, and the district is going to be in a position to either pay or buy the standard that it's seeking, or concede and accept a lower standard. And eventually, districts are going to run out of money. They're not going to be able to meet all the demands. This bill doesn't just allow for more bargaining, it alters the balance of power. And I would say it incentivizes teachers' unions to demand or to propose lower standards because they're positioned perfectly. It allows them the strongest leverage point. That's a concern for my organization because positioning unions in that way is going to lead to lower standards for teacher performance. And as I said at the beginning, that's going to have a negative effect on our expectations for students. My organization thinks expectations for low performers is among the most important thing. And then lastly, we're very concerned about the differential impact. So if everybody would be forced to pay higher costs in order to secure the standards and the criteria that they want for their evaluation criteria, we're not quite sure how that cuts, but I'm concerned that districts serving large concentrations of low-income students may be least able to pay the higher costs that unions would likely seek. So for those reasons, we're opposed, and Senator Liu, as I said, hope we can work it out, but I have to be honest in our opposition.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Madam Chair, members, Nancy Chaitis Espinosa with the California School Boards Association, also here respectfully in opposition. I observed, it's interesting hearing the author and the proponents talk about this bill, that we want so many of the same things. Unfortunately, my organization just doesn't see this bill being the vehicle to get us there. First and foremost, I think most of us here would agree that teachers are our most important resource, they're our most important asset, and districts are held accountable for the progress of our students or lack thereof. If LEAs, if school districts are not able to use all of their resources in line with meeting their goals for student achievement, that's a problem for us, and that's our primary concern with this bill. So by removing our ability to determine evaluation standards, this bill removes our ability to ensure that our most important resource is being used in line with our goals for student achievement. Secondly, I wanted to clarify some of the discussion. Evaluation is already based on multiple factors, and teachers are already a part of the process of determining evaluation procedures, as of course they should be. But introducing the design or the selection, rather, of evaluation standards into the negotiation and collective bargaining environment is a fundamental change. Simply think about it in these terms. We are going from developing evaluation standards to negotiating them. That is a tremendous change. This creates the opportunities, as my colleague said, for stakeholders to leverage important evaluation standards related to student achievement for gains related to salary or negotiation. The expansion and the scope of collective bargaining will greatly increase the frequency of impasse and concerted action, such as strikes. If we expect districts to align all of their activities and use all of their resources to ensure that their students are ready to graduate and succeed in college and career, we must retain, as LEAs, control over the evaluation standards and criteria of our educators. Responsibility and authority should go hand in hand, so we respectfully ask for your no vote.
Laura Preston, Association of California School Administrators. We're also sadly in opposition. I want to thank the staff for both the Senate Ed Committee and the President Pro Tem's office for engaging us in some really good conversations. And I think conceptually we're in the same place. What we want for evaluations is to be able to use a mechanism where you're improving performance, whether it's for teachers or it's for administrators. The problem is, as you've heard from my prior colleagues, is that this bill gets really into a place that is a disadvantage for us to really look at student achievement in the way we want to do to achieve that. And we also want to make sure that the districts, we don't disagree that there has to be a conversation with our unions. We're in this together, but we want to make sure it's a process that we can make, ensure that our students are learning, that we're able to improve teaching and administrators. We need funding. AXA is adamant, and I know that's not for this committee, but there has to be resources tied to the training of evaluators. We concur that evaluations throughout the state have been pretty inconsistent because there's nowhere for administrators to be getting some consistent training. We're all for that, but we got to be careful that when we start talking about the details. We want it to be broad enough so that every evaluator is treated the same, that you know that there's certain concepts you're going to get, but you got to not make it so rigid that it's impossible for to implement. And then finally, the the administrator evaluation piece in the bill was mirrored after legislation that Senator Liu and AXA worked on a few years ago and putting some best practices of what we saw for administrator evaluations into statute. The bill now codifies it, and it has additional requirements for administrators that are far beyond what they would be for the teachers. We don't negotiate. We're typically, unless you're a large school district, we are not unionized. And so we're going to be forced with what is in statute and have no way to be able to negotiate something differently. So those are some of the broader reasons why we're opposed today.
Thank you. One more that's here at the table.
Thank you. Brad Strong, Children Now. We support many of the provisions that the proponents also talk about. I mean, I think it's the disagreements over the bill that aren't being discussed, and look forward to that conversation. We are opposed to the bill. Children Now. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have quite a line. Are there more support?
No. Opposition.
Opposition?